Today, we are bulk meal prepping 6 days of lasagna. This is one of my most convenient preps because on the day of cooking, all you need to do is move the prep from the freezer to the oven. This is the perfect prep for busy families, postpartum freezer meals, and those evenings when you want a hearty meal but don't want to put in the time. At the end of the video, we check out where to buy each ingredient for the best price, along with the macros and cost breakdown to show you how saving time and eating delicious food can still fit within your budget. Get ready to simplify your meal prepping and elevate your culinary game. Let's get started. Jumping straight into the prepping, the supplies you'll need for 6 lasagnas include a knife and cutting board, large glass or stainless steel bowls, a large stock pot larger than this one, a large frying pan, measuring cups and spoons, a wooden spoon, whisk, and can opener, and then a sheet pan and parchment paper, which are optional, but I've found that they help make the process of cooking multiple batches of lasagna noodles at one time very helpful and also prevents the noodles from sticking together. With all of the supplies accounted for, the ingredients we need for 6 lasagnas include 42 ounces of lasagna noodles, 56 ounces of cottage cheese, 56 ounces of tomato sauce, 21 ounces of tomato paste, 3.5 cups of Parmesan, 3.5 cups of mozzarella, 4 yellow onions, 14 cloves of garlic, 3.5 tablespoons of dried parsley, 7 tablespoons Italian seasoning, 7 tablespoons of garlic powder and onion powder, 7 tablespoons of olive oil, 7 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 3.5 teaspoons of sugar, 3.5 pounds of ground beef, and 6 9x7 lasagna pans. If you want this printable recipe along with grocery lists for prepping in bulk, you can check out my Patreon, which has new recipes and grocery lists out every Thursday. Patrons help support the channel so I can continue to create and share these full-length tutorials every week, and you also get a shout out at the end of every video. So check out the link in my bio. Thank you for the support, and let's get to prepping. To begin prepping our lasagnas, we want to dice our 4 onions and mince our 14 cloves of garlic. Add half of your olive oil to a large frying pan over medium-high heat. Add half of your garlic and onions and stir while cooking for about 2 minutes. Transfer the onions and garlic to your large stock pot and repeat the process for the remainder of your olive oil, onions, and garlic. Return your frying pan to the stove and add half of your ground beef. Continue to stir your beef until it is about halfway cooked and then transfer to your stock pot. Repeat this process for the remainder of your ground beef. Next, to the large stock pot, we add our tomato sauce, tomato paste, garlic powder, onion powder, and Italian seasoning, Worcestershire sauce, sugar, and water. Bring the sauce to a simmer and then lower the heat to low and simmer covered for 1 hour. While your sauce is simmering, in a large glass bowl, combine the cottage cheese, Parmesan, and parsley. I had a bit of ricotta hanging around, so I also added that in there as well. Stir together and store in the fridge until your sauce is finished simmering and brought to room temperature. While your sauce is cooling, cook your lasagna noodles a couple minutes under the recommended time so they are still durable for assembly. I like to use a large sheet pan with parchment paper to layer my noodles so I can cook, cut to size, and store them without a mess and without the noodles sticking together. This also makes it a lot easier to make multiple batches and makes the assembly step a lot quicker. When the sauce is done and at room temperature, we are ready to assemble. Gather your lasagna trays, sauce, cottage cheese mixture, and mozzarella. Lay out your lasagna trays and add a little sauce as a base layer and then repeat noodles, sauce, shredded mozzarella, cheese mixture. I added 4 layers to each lasagna, but you can add as many layers as you have ingredients for, and this might also be a little different if your lasagna dishes are different sizes. When all of the ingredients are used up, cover your lasagnas and label the top with the recipe name and the date. And that is it. You can transfer these to your freezer, and after freezing solid, these are good for about 3 months. To cook your meal prepped lasagna, simply take it out of the freezer, preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and place covered in the oven for 80 minutes. Remove the cover and bake for another 5 minutes or until golden and bubbly. Remove from the oven and allow your lasagna to rest for about 10 minutes before serving. And that is it. After about an hour and a half of baking and virtually no actual work, your 4-serving lasagna is ready to eat. Lasagna isn't just an easy dish to add to your meal prep rotation, it's also a balanced, hearty meal to end your day. Each serving comes in at 558 calories, and with 38 grams of protein, it's perfect for helping you feel full and stay full. The 28 grams of fat provide essential nutrients and flavor, while the 36 grams of carbs offer a steady source of energy. With all of the macros out of the way, let's break down how much it costs to make one lasagna and what that cost comes to per serving. The left side of the table lists the ingredients for the recipe. The cost column is the cost of the ingredient per the amount needed for each prep. The cost unit is how much of the ingredient is needed for each prep, and the final column is where to buy the cheapest version of each ingredient. When we add all of this together, the cost to prepare one prep or 4 servings of lasagna comes to $9.68. Per serving, this is only $2.42 per person. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me this week for bulk prepping lasagna. I hope this video helped you pick up some new meal prepping tips and above all, inspired you to try out meal prepping for yourself. For any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. For more delicious meal prep recipes on a budget along with helpful tips and tricks, remember to subscribe, and until next time, happy prepping!